that I was going to die, man. Like, I wasn't going to see another day.
John Haubert and Francine Martinez were working for the Aurora Police Department in July 2021 when Haubert was caught on body camera pistol whipping Kyle Vinson. A jury found Haubert not guilty. 9 News legal expert Scott Robinson isn't surprised by that.
This involved an arrestee who was in fact resisting arrest. It's not really that unusual for an officer to be acquitted when there seems to be a significant basis for the use of physical force. So it's really not shocking at all that the jury eventually decided that there was reasonable doubt about his guilt.
The shocking part, according to Robinson, is that Martinez was found guilty last year of failing to intervene during the same arrest. She was sentenced to 6 months on house arrest.
It is relatively unusual for an individual who is essentially an accessory, collaterally involved in a criminal case, to be convicted where the principal is later acquitted.
Had the cases been reversed, Robinson believes it wouldn't have changed the outcome.
When two people are tried separately, the outcome of one trial is not significant in terms of the outcome of the other. This provides no basis for questioning the verdict in the prior trial.
Both Haubert and Martinez resigned from the Aurora Police Department. Despite his acquittal, the department said they would not consider hiring Haubert again. Vinson's civil attorney says while the trial may be over, the impact will stay with Vinson forever.
Fortunately, it doesn't appear that these injuries he suffered as a result of being struck in the head numerous times are permanent, but of course the emotional scars remain.
Vinson also won $1 million in a civil suit against the Aurora Police Department. In the studio, Ria Jha, 9 News.
Teacher at a school in Louisville is facing child abuse charges, accused of hitting a student. The principal of Monarch Pre-K through 8 says when the school learned about the incident, they referred it to police. Matt Hill, who teaches special ed, is now on paid leave. If you have any additional information, you're asked to call Louisville Police. Former youth pastor in Larimer County is accused of sexually assaulting several children dating back to the 1990s. Ippolito Gomez Perdomo faces multiple counts of sexual assault on a child by a person in a position of trust. He was a youth pastor at the Vida Abundante Church in North Fort Collins. The Larimer County Sheriff's Office says he was arrested last month. Early last year, a woman reported that Gomez Perdomo assaulted her in the early 2000s. As the Sheriff's Office investigated, they said they found more victims. Investigators think that there may be more victims still, so anyone with information is asked to contact them.
An Aurora dentist accused of poisoning and killing his wife is facing a new felony charge. Prosecutors are accusing James Craig of trying to persuade someone to tamper with evidence for months while he was in the county jail. Court documents don't share who Craig is accused of reaching out to. Last year, prosecutors filed the same felony charge after they say Craig asked a family member to help cover up the crime. His wife, Angela Craig, died last March from lethal amounts of cyanide. Police say James Craig bought poison online weeks earlier, even researched how to poison someone. Investigators believe he poisoned his wife through her protein shake. Craig's next court appearance is Tuesday, and the trial is set for the summer.
Yet another Republican state legislator has failed to responsibly handle their gun at the state capitol. This time around, a loaded gun was left inside a bathroom. Colorado State Patrol says a janitor found a loaded 9mm Glock on the shelf in a bathroom Tuesday night when the Capitol was closed to the public. Republican Rep. Don Wilson of Monument told CSP it was his gun. Troopers gave it back to him later that night. Surveillance footage shows that it was left in there for about 23 minutes. Wilson released a public apology saying in part, "I want to be clear that I take full and complete accountability for the incident," saying, quote, "I take firearm safety very seriously." Troopers determined he didn't break any laws, so they won't recommend charges. Legislators are currently allowed to carry guns in the Capitol. Democrats are trying to change that. This is the 4th time that a Republican lawmaker has lost control of their gun at the state Capitol in recent years.
Tomorrow, lawmakers in the Colorado House will consider the bill to ban so-called assault weapons in our state. The bill defines assault weapons as a .50 caliber rifle or a semi-automatic firearm with detachable magazine and a modification like pistol grip or muzzle brake. There are exceptions to allow members of the military and law enforcement to have those weapons. It will be introduced into the House tomorrow, where Democrats have a supermajority. Even if it does pass, it may not make it past the state Senate, and Governor Polis has expressed some skepticism about the bill.
Colorado's education funding lags behind most of the rest of the country, according to education advocates and state lawmakers. Their proposal to change that would cost $500 million. Lawmakers are working on a bill that would change Colorado's school finance formula for the first time in 30 years. The current setup gives weight to district-wide factors like school size and the cost of living, and critics say that favors wealthy communities. And it also has resulted in Colorado's funding per student being way below the national average. A new formula, recommended by a bipartisan school funding task force, would give more funding on school-by-school factors like the number of students living in poverty or the number of English language learners. It would require nearly $500 million in additional state funding per year. And there are questions about whether that funding and the changes it supports would be sustainable.
Does the state have the dollars to put into this in order to assure parents that if they have it this first year, will it be there again in year 2, in year 3, and year 4?
A group of superintendents has also questioned whether the state can sustain that kind of spending. Democratic House Speaker Julie McCluskey insists the money is there and says she wants to phase in that additional funding over several years. For the first time, the EPA is setting federal limits on forever chemicals in drinking water.
Now we're learning dozens of public water systems in Colorado don't meet the new standards. 9 News reporter Jennifer Meckles is here to explain a little bit more about what the state is doing about this. Jenny.
Alex, those forever chemicals, also called PFAS, are in everyday products. Nonstick pans, firefighting foam, waterproof clothing. The problem is they don't break down in the environment, and experts have linked them to some serious health issues.
Evidence is pretty clear that there's an association. It includes like decreased antibody response in terms of responding to vaccines, high cholesterol, small decreases in infant and fetal growth, and an increased risk of kidney cancer in adults.
That is Ned Kalange with the Colorado School of Public Health. The feds believe these new standards on PFAS could limit them and prevent thousands of deaths and illnesses. In Colorado, the state health department regulates public water systems across the whole state. CDPHE has been helping hundreds of those systems with testing for PFAS. 29 of them have recently tested, showing PFAS levels above the new federal standards. This includes a couple of systems in Jeffco, Douglas County, Adams County, and Boulder counties. The state says many of these places are already working to address the problem, doing testing, treating their water, and notifying the public.
People need to be aware that their risk associated with drinking PFAS in drinking water is still likely quite low, given that we don't have those high levels of contamination. The EPA standard is designed to really take that down as far as possible.
Now, along with these new federal limits, the feds are committing nearly $1 billion to help states reduce PFAS. Colorado's going to get more than $41 million. The state health website will let you look up your own water system and how it's been tested and how it did. We'll make sure there's a link to that in our story at 9news.com. Jennifer Meckles, 9 News.
Warm day today, warm weather ahead. Kathy Sabins here with that.
Yes, it was a beautiful day today and a good day to hay. This is good weather for that, but we've got to get that hay growing with some water, and we're not going to see any water for probably the next 3 to 5 days. Dominant ridge of high pressure is going to mean temperatures way above average in the upper 70s and 80s heading into the weekend. We sit in between two storm systems, one center of circulation near Cincinnati, the other one offshore from Portland. We have high pressure, warm downsloping winds, and I think we'll see the first 80-degree reading of the season this weekend. But with the warmth comes an increase in wind and elevated fire danger, something we'll be talking about tomorrow and Saturday. Temperatures today in the 60s, still very mild out there. 43 in Denver, 50 in Pueblo, 54 in Lamar. We're tracking the wind, not overly gusty at this point, but that may be changing tomorrow. A fire weather watch, a red flag warning for southeastern Colorado, and this could be extended northward into Denver and across the northeastern plains. We'll let you know what that means as we break down the extended forecast coming up.
The DU Pios hockey team is moving on after an overtime winner in the Frozen Four. They beat Boston University in St. Paul today, 2-1 in overtime. Pios now head to their 13th NCAA championship, looking for a record 10th title. 9 News sports reporter Scotty Gange is in St. Paul, and he'll have a breakdown of the big win coming up in sports.